Welcome to the Archie Real Estate Podcast, where we keep real estate simple for the new realtor, investor, or client. And now, your host, Muhammad Archie.
What's up, my people? Again, we're here. The Archie Real Estate Podcast. Man, listen. Every time I step in the studio, it feels more special every single time. I just gotta let you know that real quick. Great guest today. You're gonna learn a lot. I'm gonna learn a lot. I'm actually gonna just be taking notes most of this episode. So, I'm gonna let you do your thing. But yes, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Today's guest.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Joelle Terranova. I think first and foremost, the titles that I got to acknowledge is wife, mother, and grandmother. Those titles will never leave me, and they're the most precious ones. But I'm also excited to be a realtor, over 14 years in real estate, CEO of Get House Ready, over 16 years of doing that, and president of Lancaster County Women for Good, giving back to our community. Absolutely ecstatic about that one.
Nice. Let's get into this. So tell me about this Get House Ready. What's that about?
So Get House Ready came from my first home buying experience, my own personal first home buying experience. Hellacious,
wow,
to say the least. You would have thought that I was asking to buy the White House.
Wow.
Just a real quick story. Back then, 2008 was when I bought my first house. I was making about 60 grand, no debt, no kids, single lady. I thought I had it all. Went to buy a house and it was rough. But I remember when I finally got to the closing table, I said a little prayer because I really didn't think I was going to get the keys. And I said, God, if I could just get the keys, I promise I'm going to do my utmost to help as many people have to not go through what I just went through.
Wow.
And I got the keys.
Wow.
You got to keep a promise to God, y'all.
Wow.
So now I'm here.
So 2008, you bought a house in 2008.
August of that.
Wow.
Housing market
right in the middle of it.
2 weeks later.
Oh, okay. 2 weeks. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wow. So I'm sure that was a huge journey. Another thing you mentioned in that little spiel there was the keys. I always tell my clients, it is not over until you have the keys. I don't care that we signed the paperwork. I don't care that we gave them deposits. We could be at the very last hour of the deal. If you don't have the keys, it's not over yet. So I'm glad you experienced that. Now, a lot of times I think when we experience that ourselves, it makes it easier to coach others through it.
Absolutely.
So I've been through the house buying process as well, and it wasn't necessarily fun.
Absolutely.
So I try to make it as fun as possible.
Absolutely.
So Get House Ready. It's a program you have, correct?
Yeah, so I've created a entity that helps address the major issues that a home buyer may go through that can prevent them from being a homeowner. I firmly believe that as licensed professionals, it's not really our job to sell homes, right? If I take Hamilton and his wife and take them into a beautiful home and she hates the kitchen, no matter what I say, you're not buying the house, right? And if I take them into a $200 million home and they love it, right? They got to bring the 200 million. It's not my job to sell them a home. They sell themselves, right? It's my job to remove the obstacles that prevent them from being able to get that home that they love and can afford. And so that's why I created Get House Ready. Let's start removing the obstacles and the challenges that people have. And if we look at it historically, the truth is there's obstacles that have been placed that sometimes certain minority groups face those obstacles a little bit. It's a little bit tougher, a little bit more challenging. Don't get me wrong, everybody faces challenges and obstacles. But with the right education, those obstacles can be removed. If somebody before you owned a home, you help me understand why you can't just because of the color of your skin. No, that was removed a long time ago. Let's help folks remove some of these obstacles and challenges. So that's what Get House Ready does.
So how do you go about helping remove some of these obstacles, and what are the main obstacles that you see with most of the clients that you're working with?
Great question. Number one, got to have a conversation. I have never seen two clients that are the same. It's not cookie cutter. So what may be affecting you might be something totally different affecting another person. And we're in a society now where people don't like to have conversations. It's a like on Facebook. It's a quick comment. It's an emoji to express I love you or I care or I'm praying for you. That's our communication now. We got to get back to just having conversations and understanding what people are facing. Sometimes the biggest obstacle is mindset. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe you can achieve something, I don't care how great of resources I have. If your mind says I cannot, you cannot. And that's why conversations need to be had to help people see here are resources. In fact, here are some people that have overcome it, and it helps to change the mind. So that's the first thing I see is the biggest obstacle is the mindset. Helping people understand that they can and them embracing that is number one. Other obstacles, credit score, not having the down payment money, right? When you tell people, listen, most people I talk to don't have 20, 30, 50 grand sitting in the bank. Yeah. Right. Most of my real estate colleagues don't have 20, 30, 50,000 just sitting in the bank, but there's a solution to that. And then the other one that I see a lot of is high debt to income ratios, where people might not understand it's going to take me years to dig out of this debt. It need not be like that at all.
How long are you typically working with these clients before it goes from giving you the initial call to get the help and to typically closing? Like if they have to go through credit repair or something of that sort.
My clients that have the mindset and willing or ready to go, they're out of my program in 90 days. It's something that I like a quick graduation on. I don't want you hanging out with me in credit repair. I want to celebrate that house. I need a housewarming invitation and invite. Those are the things that I look forward to. When the mindset needs to be changed, everybody's a little bit different. It could take a little longer.
How deep do you go with that? Now, if someone comes in, you're like, listen, okay, this person is probably, and because I get clients like this too, I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to coach you along this. You know what I mean? But I know that we are 1 year plus out. So how deep do you go into the mindset? Do you get them to say, hey, listen, this can be, where do you start with mindset?
This is great. So my husband's here, right? So I can't tell no lies because he's like, it can get rough sometimes, y'all, like real talk. And the things that people are going through in their life can get rough. And I'm not a trained therapist, right? And that's something I had to learn early on in my career.
You might not be a trained therapist, but you're a therapist by now.
I've learned that a lot of times you gotta be, but I've also learned too, like there's certain things where, respectfully speaking, therapy may be needed and home ownership might not be the right thing for you right now, right? So how deep do we go? I go as deep as I possibly can. Like I said, there's certain things that we need other professionals. So what I have done with my company is I've involved other professionals. I have people that are financial planners. I have individuals that are debt eliminators so that they can give those services where I'm not trained to do that. So I'm not trained to look at your budget and say, this is where you can eliminate debt. I have somebody that does that. I'm not trained to say, wait a second, we need to revisit your back taxes. So we have an accounting department for that to help them with those back taxes. So me personally, here's where the depth goes for me. I like to let people know that I am someone who is on the autism spectrum. So I see things totally different. Okay. So as I'm talking, you might say, what is she talking about? Like, why is she doing that? I just see things different. For me, one of the things that is a strength for me is my ability to feel what you're feeling. My ability to be compassionate and understanding. Not everybody has that, and it doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that I just see them differently. I feel it differently. Sometimes my husband says, honey, you going too deep with it, right? But that's my jam. That's my gift that I can present to you or anybody else that's in front of me. So the compassion piece is important for me because it builds trust. When a person feels that they're being heard, it's amazing the things that they open up to you so that now, okay, I can now know what I need to fix and sort through and give to the right people. So that's the thing that allows me to dig a little bit deeper is the compassion and empathy piece. We built the trust. Now I understand the real picture with you And now I know what members of my team to disseminate this out to so we can get you on your way.
What did it take to build this team? How much networking, communicating? How many times have you had to replace someone on the team and say we needed to do something differently? How often does that happen?
16 years of building.
Yeah.
It's been a long process. And there have been times I put the whole business down. I said, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I put the whole business down twice, and it kept speaking to me. And I'm like, stop talking to me. I'm done with it. I don't want to deal with it. But 16 years. And in the community that I started out in, it wasn't the most welcoming community, right? And, but I had to keep plugging through. So yeah, it's been a long time.
So it wasn't the most welcoming in what kind of way?
So, you know, I just got to be real. Berks County, Pennsylvania, lovely place, but I was the only Black female realtor. I don't know another Black female realtor. There was one, but she really wasn't doing much. And so you don't know what it's like to be a Black female realtor unless you're in her skin. So you can say things have changed, but yet from your perspective, but from my perspective, sometimes when I would present an offer, I was that woman that helped people with credit. Well, how do we know that her buyers are good? Maybe their credit, maybe their financing isn't that good. We don't know. And until I found people that were willing to just relax a little bit and see like, yeah, we can go through with these deals, then it started to be a little bit more welcoming, but just a little bit.
Yeah,
not a lot, just a little bit.
I agree. I think being where we are, it's something that we're always going to kind of be up against.
Sure.
I think it's just the demographics. I have people that ask me all the time, so what do you do when you have those people that don't want to work with you? And I'm like, why are you worried about the ones that don't want to work with you? How about you focus on the ones that want to work with you, the ones that you can help? So the ones that you're focusing on, the ones that you do help, what are their circumstances like? Like, why? How do they find you first and foremost?
Wow. So I've been very, very vocal on social media. Facebook is my place. I know there's other places, but I just have this comfort zone with Facebook. I do a lot of videos and going lives and just talking to people. So a lot of people find me that way on Facebook. And what I didn't realize is when people watch you on video, they start to develop a relationship with you. Right? So like, I know with Hamilton's a celebrity. I don't even know he really realizes it. So people develop a relationship with you before they meet you. So sometimes I've been literally at the grocery store and people be like, Joelle, and I'm looking like, I got my do-rag on, you know? And I'm like looking and then I realized, Joelle, they know you. Yeah. And they expect when they see you to see the person on the video. So, right, I start making sure I don't have my do-rag on, that I dress up, you know. But that's where the connection is made. Now, you asked a question about the scenarios that I run into. Scenarios. Just some examples. I had one where she reached out to me from cancer rehab. She'd been living in a RV because that's just her lifestyle. It's not that she's destitute or nothing, that's just her lifestyle, but she couldn't get released out of the rehab, battling what she was battling without being in a home. So literally from a rehab, we had to figure out how to get her into a home. I have clients where multiple children in an abusive relationship trying to break free, a lot of single moms, a lot of people who, they're in apartments where there's rats, roaches, gunshots. I got to do something better for my kids. I get a lot of those.
So this is about more to you than just doing a transaction and making a dollar amount on commission.
Yeah, when I did my first real estate transaction, my personal one, I felt so in the dark. And I was surrounded by professionals with licenses, but they didn't know the answers to the questions. And I got ignored, laughed at, all of that. And so that's when it became personal, because I realized that now, if you see ignorance in somebody, or you feel they're being ignorant to you, or they're not responding to you, or they're ghosting you, a lot of times their ignorance is based off a lack of education. They don't know what to say to you. But when a person knows what to say, they have the answer. A lot of times they will tell you the solution. So I realized in my real estate community, as far as my colleagues, there's a lot of information that they just don't know. And they might not even know exists, or they feel skeptical about it. And that's why I feel fired up now. Like, I want to show them, like, it's possible. We can help people. We got the power to do it. Let's do it.
So you believe in collaboration over competition?
Absolutely. But before, I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to collaborate with anybody. Mm-hmm. I was taught in the beginning, don't trust other realtors, stay to yourself. You know, everybody's out to get you. And so I didn't want to collaborate. I didn't want to compete because I felt I was just competing with myself. But the not wanting to collaborate, I now realize that was a mistake. We together are so much stronger. And like truly together, I'm not talking about National Association of Realtors.
That ain't together at all.
That's not. It's not, y'all. Like it's shit. I'm just being, just be honest. Yeah. You know, it's clicks with that. But what if we really got together and I said, hey, listen, I found a solution to this. I can't corner the market as a realtor. I can't sell all the only 200 and some homes that are on the market right now in Berks County. Last count, there's only 233. How I can't sell them all. Yep. But if you're having an issue with a client because of a credit score, and I know I can whisper in your ear and say, tell your client to do da 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 da, and I know that that's going to change their credit score in a matter of days, why wouldn't I? Yeah. Because I don't want to see you get a commission? Or do I care that this person that you're helping needs a roof over their head? Yeah.
You know, I think if we had more of a mindset in general in the real estate industry, we could help so many more people if we focused on it that way. But it is a cutthroat industry. And I think I never came into it that way. I always kind of came into it wanting to collaborate in some kind of way and then realizing, okay, maybe I can't collaborate here. Or maybe it's not time to collaborate there yet. Part of the reason why I do this podcast is because I can't corner the market. Yeah. There's so many agents out there. There's so many investors that I know personally. And I'm like, why not share the information that we have so we can make everyone better collectively?
Absolutely.
You know, so I really appreciate that part. So you also mentioned, tell me more about how you feel about disrupting the industry. How can you disrupt the industry first?
I think it's really about getting your opinions out there and getting there's definitely realtors out there that have a mindset for change. And you got to collectively get them out there and help people understand it's not about us agreeing on everything. We don't have to agree. But if I can just at least hear different perspectives, it helps to spark ideas.
Nice, definitely. All right, with that, we'll get back into the next stories. We'll take a little break and come back, please. So we touched on it just a brief moment there. How can I help you disrupt the industry?
I need your mind.
Okay.
You know, one of the things that I've learned now that I'm in my 40s is we're not always going to agree, and that's okay. That's what causes the disruption. We've seen in the last few years a disruption in the United States, politically speaking, because someone had a serious opinion and disrupted things and wasn't afraid to voice their opinion. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you have to admit that it caused disruption. And I feel majority of realtors that have the mindset to change, if they come collectively together and feel like, wow, you all, hearing some of the stories, you know, I'm sure there's people that you've helped buy a home that had a story and you had to get creative. Oh my God, he did that. There's stories I have where I had to get creative. What she did? This guy bought a $500,000 property and was living in Kensington section of Philadelphia. How did that happen? Yeah. When we start to hear those stories and start to hear what we've done and the power that we have, I have stories I promise you nobody would believe. I could prove them, but nobody would believe because there are those that are just status quo with the real estate. And there's those of us that are disruptors. Like, we're not going to just back down. Like, no, I know this person's making 80 grand a year. They got some money in the bank. Yeah, what? No, we're going to make this happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know you probably have plenty, but tell me about one of the changes you'd like to see within the industry.
One of the changes I'd like to see is I would like to see both lenders and mortgage brokers create second chance programs. You have somebody that comes in and let's say, because as the current system stands now, you need a certain credit score to get into a home. I got it. I get the rules. Let's create second chance programs. Let's make that standard where we're helping people get the education. We had talked earlier about, as realtors, we don't always have the time to handhold. Loan officers don't have the time to handhold. They're chasing their next deal. And I understand they got to feed their family. So let's create a program that allows that hand-holding to happen so that we're now part of breaking some of those, we talk about all the time, generational curses that are due to lack of education. Let's stop being mad at people because their family does have the ability to own, and let's start getting creative and helping people get what they need to get to the next level.
I think that's a big thing for the industry, is just wanting to help.
Yes.
You got to want to help if you're going to make any real change. You can go through this industry and make money and not really care about anything.
Absolutely.
And that's fine. But if you want to feel like you're achieving something and making real change, then I feel like you have to actually care to help.
Absolutely.
It has to be part of your nature. So disrupting the industry, it's not something easy. Credit approval, education, it all comes together. I talked about people having a 480 credit score. What kind of advice would you give someone with a score like that?
This is what I tell people. I don't care what your credit score is. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you're absolute zero. Mm-hmm. I don't even care if you don't have a social security number. I don't care. Do you make income? Because I can't pay for your house for you.
Yep. This is true.
If you are paying rent right now, mm-hmm. that's the only thing I need you to be. If you can show me, Joelle, listen, I consistently pay my rent. Show me for the last 2 years you consistently paid your rent. That's all I need. Credit score, I can deal with that. Down payment, I can deal with that. Let me tell you, I just negotiated this deal for a young lady. She works, doesn't have much. Credit score wasn't the best. We got her credit score up. Got her the down payment assistant grant for her down payment. Negotiated full 6% seller assist. She'll have to come to the closing table with $400.
Wow.
If you really care, mm-hmm. you can get it done. Now, does it mean that every seller will agree to that? No. But, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. We got the power, if we're not afraid, to negotiate.
Yes.
Right?
And you can ask for it. What can they do? Tell you
no? Just ask, right? We're no proof. How many times we heard no?
Yep.
It's okay. They're saying no to us, not to the client.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I don't care what your credit score is. Credit score, and again, in my world, in the Joelle Terranova world, 3 digits does not say whether you're deserving. Those 3 digits may indicate that you need education. Give the education. Right? We just put our son on little football teams. His first time, he's 9. He don't know what he's doing,
not
right?
At all,
right. He just wants to run around and wear. But okay, so he doesn't know how to read the playbook. So then I got to sit down with my son. First of all, I don't know how to read playbook. So I had to learn how to read the playbook. And I'm asking my husband, what's this? He's trying to show me, and I'm trying to show my son. It's the education. Once he learns to read the playbook, if that's truly what he wants to do, he's going to be phenomenal. So with that credit score, all it lets me know is, here's an indicator for some education. If that person's willing to get this education and I'm willing to deliver it in a way they can receive it, they're going to be just fine.
Again, that 480 credit score, it keeps rolling around in this podcast. You say talk about 480 credit scores. It's not the end of the world, I promise.
It is not. I promise you that. That does not scare me.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on something that you kind of mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. You're on the autism scale. Mm-hmm. So was there ever, I'm sure there was a point in your life when you looked at it as a disadvantage?
So can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 45 years old. I'll be 46 in just a few months. I found out I had autism at 45.
Wow.
I knew my entire life that there was something, like, I just didn't connect the dots like everybody else did. All right. I remember when I met my husband, and this was after we were married, and I would tell him, like, babe, so this just feels weird to me. And I would explain to him what I was feeling and what I was experiencing. And then when it finally, I'll tell you how it all came together. I was helping a lot of people during COVID, a lot of people. Real estate was crazy. And the schedule and the constant moving and the stories and the digging in with people, I think I dug in a little too deep. And mentally, I got burned. I remember one day looking at my husband in tears, and I said, babe, I don't know what's going on with me, but it was almost like I couldn't think. All I could do was cry. And so I went and I got some professional help to figure out what was wrong. And that's when I found out. And let me tell you, it was like the heavens opened.
Like a relief.
My goodness. And there have been things, and Hamilton can attest to this because he's seen me through the years. There were things that I was super good at. Like, I could recruit people and get people to come to functions and help people make money. And people would look and say, well, how is she doing that? And when I would explain it to them, they said, that's not what you're doing. I'm like, no, that's really what I was doing. But my autism, part of it causes me to hyper focus on certain things, right? So if I'm really interested, my husband's literally watched me, like, read a whole book in less than a day. He's like, you read the whole book? Yeah, because I was really interested in the book. Or I'll stay up all night digging into something because I'm super interested in it. And so it helped me to then connect the dots for me so that when I can talk to you, I can tell you. If you notice some tics with me, like sometimes you'll see me close my eyes. That's a autism thing. I used to get criticized for that all the time, closing my eyes, because I'm literally envisioning my words before they come out. Yeah. I want people to know that if you see something in me that seems a little unusual, that's what it is. And it's really been freeing. It really has.
So you've had a superpower all these years and you just never knew about it.
I knew about it, but I didn't know there was a name to it. Okay. I just thought that honestly, I thought that everybody experienced something like that or saw things the way that I saw them. And for years, people say, Joelle, you don't see things the way everybody else does. And I'm like, they're just saying that. Yeah. But when my husband told me, and I knew that it was coming from a place of love, I didn't have to doubt that. Then I said, hold on a second, got to be something to this. And it came together.
Not a bad thing that you don't see everything as everyone else. Trust that. But so you have a mixer coming up in September.
I do.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so Get House Ready is sponsoring a mixer on September the 7th. It's going to be in Lancaster. And it's a mixer of realtors. And there's certain topics that I think realtors need to talk about. Like, for instance, there's legislation being presented about commission structure. We've always been used to the seller paying everybody's commission. And it's been talked about, like, maybe that should stop. And there's a lot of agents that don't like that. But can I tell you something? For years, I've had my buyers pay my commission. That's not a new topic. And when people heard about that, they thought that it was so unethical of me to. How dare you have the buyer pay your commission? Like, no, I give a great service. They are happy to pay it, and they pay it. And so let's talk about it. So if that's a challenge for somebody who's never done that, I'm happy to say, hey, James, this is how you get your client to pay your commission and keep it moving.
Well, I mean, if you break it down in the simplest terms, we do work for the buyer, right? So I mean, like, I always have this consultation with my buyers, and I'm like, you don't pay my commission. So it's like, but we do work for the buyer. So why shouldn't they pay our commission? And
it's all about us changing our mindset. And if you feel you're giving value, you don't have a problem to say to somebody, this is the price for my time and my expertise.
This is why you're paying me.
This is why you're paying
exactly.
me. Absolutely. Yeah. So why not hear from other realtors how they've overcome the obstacle? You might not present it the same way I do, but it gives you a perspective so that you can put your own spin on it that makes you feel comfortable. And let's keep going on with helping people, right?
Yeah, sometimes we let change just stop us in our tracks.
Absolutely. And we want to debate it and we want to fight it and say, let's get together and let's figure it out. There's another issue. Like I said, in Berks County, last time I looked, there's only 233 homes for sale. But guess what? There's ways to navigate that. I'm still closing homes. Well, what am I doing? What am I doing a little different? How am I helping my buyers with such limited inventory in Berks County, Lancaster County? Maybe my perspective can help you, because again, I don't feel like I'm competing with you. We might be taking our client to the same exact house, right? But you might present a better offer. Your client had more than my client did. I wasn't competing with you. We got buyers that may be competing, but if a buyer has more money than that, they got it.
There's so many things that can win you an offer. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've told my clients plenty of times we've won deals where we're not the highest number. It's all about how you write it up. It's all about the terms. So
Absolutely.
I mean that's very important. You mentioned Lancaster. You have a Lancaster County Women for Good.
That is it.
Okay, explain what's that about?
So can I tell you something craziest story? I was on Facebook, saw something about charitable giving for Lancaster. Looked like a great opportunity. I said I'd love to be a part. All it was asking was for a quarterly donation, $50 a quarter. Women come together. They all give their $50 a quarter. We take the pot of money. We give it to a nonprofit. What I didn't know is that the organization wasn't formed. It was just a thought. And so all of these ladies were saying, well, we want to be a part of it, including myself. And the platform said, Joelle, we'd like for you to run it. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? And I was just going to be giving a little $50. And then I was going to be saying I was a part of giving a little money. But no, and it is absolutely a blessing. Myself, and now there are 4 other ladies that run the organization. In the past year, again, none of us knew each other. We didn't come together and say, let's put this together. It was pretty much put on our lap and said, here you go, figure it out. And in the last 12 months, we just celebrated our 1 year. We've raised over $22,000. Again, not knowing each other, not knowing our members. We've grown to, we're close to 300 members in 12 months. And it's been absolutely phenomenal. So
what are some of the things you do? Like what's the group kind of about?
So it's just women coming together. We meet, we have a little girls' night out every other month. And then every quarter, the members nominate nonprofits that are operating in Lancaster County. They nominate, we vote, we whittle it down to 3. We then meet. Those 3 nominated nonprofits come, they speak about their organization, what they would use the money for, and then we just do a vote right then and there, and we gift the money to whomever receives the majority vote. So we've been able to help a lot of nonprofits get the funds that they need to continue their mission.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. H knows about a few nonprofits, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're both part of the Forge. Disclaimer. That's my disclaimer for that. So
Yes.
that's the nonprofit we're part of.
Okay,
and
cool.
it's a men's organization. It's great. We're just, doing a lot within the community. So
What do they do?
Well, H, you want to tell her or should I tell her?
I would love to know. I'd love to know.
I'm behind the
No, we do a lot. We come together. Well, monthly we meet. It's a men's group, so we meet and we discuss different topics, dealing with emotions, with life, with finances, how to be better men. So we take away a lot from each other. Iron sharpens iron is one of our slogans. So we take a lot of that away and we just make each other better. We've done things within the community as well. We have clothing drives. We just had a father-child basketball tournament, so that was really cool. But we're growing and we're trying to figure out ways to impact the community even more. So that's one thing we're going to do. That's my plug for the Forge.
I love
There you
that.
go.
Can I
enhancing
say
manhood from the inside.
Inside
Can I
out,
say
you got
something
it.
to the gentleman in the room? Very few times, men usually don't talk a lot about what they're doing and their accomplishments. And so because of that, I feel that you all aren't celebrated enough. It's not because of that. It's just how men are. Men generally don't put, a star on their forehead and say, this is what I did today, right? And so I want to clap it up for y'all without clapping in the mic. Thank you so much for putting together something that is designed around men. Like, we need that. Our community is made up of strong leaders, men as well. Women are definitely, have shown that they are a force to be reckoned with. But I'm so thankful to hear and grateful to hear that you all have put that together. So I'm clapping it up for the men.
Thank you.
Good job, gentlemen.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think just in life in general, sometimes you do have to sit down and smell the roses. I talked about an episode before where we're so busy working and working and helping this person. We're in the middle of helping this person. We're at the end of helping this person. We're at the beginning of helping this person. So the cycle it's just one big cycle that constantly continues. And sometimes you have to stop and say, we're doing a good thing here.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that.
No, that's a beautiful thing. I learned from Hamilton early on the power of men collaborating, especially when it comes to you being a Mason, and how important that was to you. So I'm so glad to hear that. That's beautiful.
Thank you. So you said you had a conversation earlier today that got you a little fired up. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I had a conversation with part of a team that I work with that helps my clients with debt issues, and they have their own financial company. It is Paula and Dean Lux.
Yes.
If you do not know them,
we're Facebook friends. I have to meet her personally. But,
they're definitely somebody that I would recommend you talk to. Amazing couple, and they are my disruptive soundboard. Right, I can tell them my ideas, and it's so funny because our ideas are very common. In fact, the mixer that is hosted is not only it's Lux Financial, their company, sponsored by them, and also Get House Ready. But that idea was birthed by them, and I just came behind, and I'm with them full force. And so I told them, because one of the things we were noticing is they were noticing getting people to their events. When they talk about education, people aren't always excited to get out of their bed or leave their home and come listen to education. Mm-hmm. So I told them, we got to create a cause, something that people can get fired up about, something that is disruptive, respectfully disruptive, something where people feel that their opinion needs to be heard, but we then take it and create perspectives. And so that was the thing that got me all revved up.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, people hear the word education, like, I don't want to go back to school. You know what I mean? So I would love the information on that, because I would love to attend that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be back to wrap this thing up. So what's next for you? What I know there's always something that's in the works, or there's somewhere you want to go, or somewhere you want to take your enterprise in the next couple of years. What's next?
So what's next is creating exactly what I told you, is taking Get House Ready and expanding it to help loan officers, real estate brokers, real estate agents create second chance programs. We also are looking to be able to give education to realtors, loan officers, about what really is eligibility. Why don't we dig a little deeper? I don't know if you ever saw this program. I think it's on the Discovery Channel. I got obsessed with it. It's called Gold Rush. And it's these young men in the Yukon, Alaska, and they're digging through the dirt and they're finding gold. Literally millions and millions of dollars of gold, but you got to dig through the dirt first. In the real estate industry, there's what is called or labeled the dirt. And that's where my playground has been, because there's so many gold nuggets and I can't harvest it all. Right. And I want to show other realtors, listen, this stuff that you categorized as dirt, it's full of gold. Mm-hmm. There's gold over here. And let me show you. So we are creating, I hired a consultant to help us to expand. JP Morgan Chase was gracious enough to give us a grant of money to help us further our marketing and further our programs, gave us some amazing mentorship on how to reach individuals. Because if you know anything about JP Morgan Chase, they have a huge initiative to help specifically Black and brown people to be able to get into homes. And so they saw a need to help us out as well. So just expanding that reach, making the education piece fun. We're not going to call it education, but our second chance, right, to help people get to where they need to be.
That's nice. Partnerships are key in this business, because they can They can help you evolve. They can help you grow. It feels really good when you're helping your own people.
Yeah.
I love to help all my people. When I say I start the show with "What's up, my people," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Understand who my people are. It's not just a skin color or this or that. It's literally, I have to get deeper into that, but it's my people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so you love to help your people.
Yes.
So you're doing that. That's coming up. You want to continue to grow that. Where can they find you? Where can they get your information? Where can they reach out to you? If a realtor wants to tap into what you have and wants to help you grow or wants to learn something from you, or a client needs help, where can they find you?
So I definitely would say Facebook is my place, Joelle Terranova. There is actually another Joelle Terranova, but she doesn't look anything like me. Her and I are friends, though. We are friends on Facebook. People
is she in the real estate industry too?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
She's not.
That would be a little tricky. Hold on now.
So that's definitely it. My phone number is on Facebook. I've had several realtors just pick up the phone and call me. That is totally fine. I have zero issue with that. But that's the best place to find me.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Last question for today.
Okay.
So, do you consider yourself successful? If you do, why do you consider yourself successful? If you do not, why do you not consider yourself successful?
So you're about to make me cry. I just talked about this before you walked in.
Wow.
What I said before you walked in is, I have achieved success, and I'm so grateful. Sometimes we think that success looks a certain way. We think that it feels a certain way. But I've learned that where I'm at right now is one of the heights of success. There's different levels and peaks and valleys when it comes to success, because once you get to a level, you're always going to see another mountain. And to get to that mountain, you're going to have to go down the valley to get to that one. Mm-hmm. Where the success has come in for me after doing the work, understanding who I am, understanding who my clients are, and being able to clearly communicate my vision and mission and feel confident and comfortable in it and know who I am and own that, that to me is the definition of success. Because when you can lead with purpose and you're very strong about what your purpose is, you know what the gift is that's been put inside of you, and you know how to exercise that gift and help others, and you now have a testimony of individuals that say, yep, she did that. Yep, she helped me. Yep, I watched her do that. That to me is success. Now, can we continue to go up? Absolutely. But if you don't know who you are, you don't know your purpose, success cannot find you in a place like that. And I'm just glad that the work has been done, that I understand those factors.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's our guest for today, Joelle Terranova. Are there any nicknames that I'm not knowing about? I didn't announce here.
I don't think there might be things that people call me I don't know anything about, but
just making sure, because every person I have on seems to have a nickname somewhere about something.
Now, babe, do I have any nicknames? No.
That's it. Nice. Thank you so much to our guest. I really appreciate you coming on and dropping all these gems. If you want to reach out to her, you know where to find her. And hopefully we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you. Thanks for watching or listening to the Archie Real Estate Podcast. You can find me on YouTube at the Archie Real Estate Podcast. You can find me on Facebook as well, Muhammad Archie. Email me if you have any questions, comments, concerns, marchie@archierealtor.com. Shoot me a text, 484-338-3406. That's my phone number, direct. Shoot me a text. Got any questions, let me know. I hope to see you on the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Archie Real Estate Podcast, and we thank you for listening. Email Archie directly at marchie@archierealtor.com with any questions. If you are ready to begin your real estate search, visit archierealtor.com. See you on the next episode.